Have you ever seen a moment so small, so ordinary, that it changed the direction of two lives forever? Like a question that should have never been asked, or a truth that was never meant to be spoken aloud. In a quiet diner on the edge of a city, where people came to be forgotten, a young woman noticed something she should have ignored. A tattoo. 5 strokes of ink on the arm of a man everyone feared. But she looked closer, and saw something that wasn't supposed to be there. And when she told him, everything changed. The city lights never quite reached the neighborhood where the diner sat. It was the kind of place where truck drivers stopped at dawn, lonely souls sought warmth at midnight, and the regulars never asked too many questions. It was old, simple, and had the faint smell of brewing coffee and rain-soaked pavement. And there, behind the counter most nights, was Hannah. Hannah was 24, soft-spoken, and careful in the way she moved. She had learned long ago that attention could be dangerous. Her world had once been loud, full of music, laughter, and her father's voice teaching her Japanese as they cooked dinner. But when her father passed, everything became quiet. The house, the street, the world inside her. She worked now to survive, not to dream. Her life was routine, predictable, and quietly heavy, and she preferred it that way until he started coming in. He arrived always at the same time, after sunset, when the diner was nearly empty. A tall man in a charcoal coat, shoulders broad, face sharp, eyes unreadable. The kind of presence that made the air shift. He sat in the same booth. Ordered the same black coffee. Spoke to no one. But the whispers were impossible to ignore. He was rumored to be Luca Marino, the man who controlled things no one talked about openly. The man whose name sat at the edge of every fearful conversation. People said he had done terrible things. People said no one looked him in the eye and lived comfortably afterward. No one dared approach him except Hannah, not out of courage, but because it was her job. She placed his coffee down gently on the table, always avoiding his gaze. Yet one night, she noticed something. A tattoo on his forearm, partially visible under his sleeve. Dark, bold ink. Japanese characters. Her father taught her that language. It was the last thing that still connected her to him, and the tattoo, it didn't say what it was supposed to say. Most people would not recognize the difference. But she did. Her heart pounded. She knew she should stay quiet. But something inside her, something small and honest and tired of being silent, spoke before fear could stop her. That tattoo. I don't think it means what you believe it means. The entire diner froze in time. Luca lifted his eyes to hers. And for the first time since he had begun coming in, he truly looked at her. Not coldly. Not with insult. Just, surprised. What do you mean? His voice was low, calm, but there was something dangerous beneath it. Hannah swallowed. Her palms were trembling. You think it says, strength through loyalty, but one of the strokes is missing. It actually says, weakness betrays loyalty, instead. Silence stretched across the room like a held breath, but what she expected, a flash of anger, offense, violence, did not come. He stared at her, as if the words struck a place buried deep, somewhere he didn't allow anyone to see. Then he did something no one could have predicted. He laughed, not loud, not amused, just a broken, tired release of something heavy, and he whispered, so even my skin calls me a liar. From that night on, Luca didn't sit alone. He sat where Hannah could speak to him, and that was how the door opened. The tattoo had been meant to honor Matteo. To keep his memory etched in skin. But now, Hannah realized, it had been mocking him instead. Hannah listened. Not with pity. But with understanding. The kind that comes from someone who knows loss. She told him about her father. About how grief can make the world feel both too heavy and painfully empty at once. Their shared sorrow became a fragile bridge, but the world outside did not like bridges like that. One night, men stormed the diner. Armed. Angry. The betrayal that had taken Matteo's life had not ended. And Luca was the target now. The windows shattered. The lights flickered. Fear ripped through the diner, yet Luca stepped forward, not as a monster or a criminal, but as a brother still trying to right a wrong. Hannah, trembling, did not hide. She grabbed the phone, called for help, and stayed beside him while chaos erupted. Not because she was fearless, but because she could not watch someone else she cared about be swallowed by loss. The police came. The attackers fled. Luca survived, and afterward, in the quiet, he turned to Hannah and said, you saw something in me I didn't believe existed anymore. A place I thought was dead. His voice broke. Just once, Hannah touched his wrist, not to comfort, but to acknowledge, you cared once. So you can care again. In the weeks that followed, Luca stepped away from the world that had destroyed his brother. It was not easy. It was not clean. But he fought for a different life, and one morning, he returned to the diner, not in a dark coat, not with shadows behind him, but carrying something wrapped in cloth. He unwrapped it and showed Hannah the new tattoo, corrected, complete, strength through loyalty, this time, written with the right strokes, and meaning something new, not loyalty to a world of violence, but loyalty to the people who teach us how to live again. Sometimes, the smallest moments change everything. A word spoken. A truth revealed. A connection made. Never assume your voice is too small or your courage too quiet. Even gentle honesty can save a life that has forgotten its way.